You smell what the Rock is cooking.
Acknowledge me.
You don't know what hard times are, Daddy.
We are bad to the bone. Get it? Bad to the bone.
Tell me when I'm telling lies.
I'll fight anybody. Who do you want? Just let me fight him.
Let me tell you something, Jim Ross.
Mega power, yeah.
Hogan, we got it for you.
No! We are the best of the best.
Woo! Wheeling, dealing. Smart marks.
And that's the bottom line, cause Stone Cold said so.
Welcome to Talk 'em in the Building, a pro wrestling podcast where we focus on the pro wrestling promo. We talk about the talkers, we hype the hype men, and we pontificate upon the promo. I'm Adalid out here on the West Coast, LA representing, joined by my homies, my wrestling aficionados. We got Adrian out in Atlanta. What's going on, Adrian?
What's up, man? What's happening? Happy to be here. Yes, sir.
So we go from the boss to the historian of the podcast here. Greg, what's feeling? How's it going, bro?
Man, I'm good, man. I'm good. How you feeling?
I'm good, man. I'm loving it, and I have to congratulate everyone here for the ride. We're coming up on another year here, another calendar year here, winding down 2025, and these are the doldrums of wrestling, right? Storylines aren't starting and things are going, but we're going to dig into what we do best, which is the promo. So if this is your first time listening, check out the back catalog, intothebuilding.com. It'll take you the short form, the long form, the reels, everything that we got on there. But I'm sure there's going to be something of interest. And for tonight, we're going to be looking at a Dusty review here where we rate a promo strictly on its ability to talk us into the building. So we rated using, one of the greatest promos of all time, one Dusty Rhodes, on a scale of 1 to 5 Dusties. And tonight we're going to look at the world of TNA, which Adrian, I know you're a big fan of, and I'm curious to hear all of our thoughts tonight on how that continues to develop. But for today, a lot of the times we take this top of the show to talk about something topical, something that's in the news, and I want to do a little bit of a forward-thinking piece because we're of a certain generation where we've seen a lot of wrestling come and go, and we're in a little bit of a flux. We touched on it with the Shallow Hill promo where it felt like it was created for digital, right? And then we're coming off the heels of a Gunther promo that thrived with a live audience, right? Of course, live promos can be clipped and utilized for social media purposes, but I have a question here to get us going. As we're winding down 2025, we have a vision for the future. We just said goodbye to the past and John Cena, right? And now we're doing this forward-thinking way of doing promo. So my question for you all tonight is it smarter for this generation to focus on building promos for social media engagement, or is the live crowd still king? Where do we put our focus for this next generation of superstars, of wrestlers? Because seemingly they're both kind of important. Greg, as a historian, I want to come to you because we're in a little bit of a flux right now.
Well, I think that the key is it depends where you're at in your career. So if you're in the independents or smaller organizations, I don't like the term independents, but if you're trying to get to an AEW, you're trying to get to a TNA, you're trying to get to WWE, I think your social media presence is more important because your small shows, a lot of times you're not even getting promo time, and your small shows are quick, get in, and they're very, we've all been to independent shows. I need to establish myself as the bad boy or the good one, right? Oh, yay, y'all all suck, or yay, you need to cheer for me, right? What is it? But if I can get on social media and I can get some engagement and I can show that I have chops, that I can show I can even tell a story, I can put over whatever promotion I'm going to. We talk them into the building. You have your ABCs you have to hit. What's the date? What's the time? Where am I going? What's the promotion? I know I gave a critique before. I can't be talked into the building if I don't know the building. So you got to hit those pieces. You also got to show that you're prepared on your social media to go out here and promote these shows. But also in between your shows, right? Let's say I have a show on Saturday, then I have a show the next Saturday. I need to build my character in between. And how can I do that? Whether it's on my TikTok or on a reel, on Instagram, wherever. I think it's more important from that perspective. And I think the other piece with the social media is you got to include some highlights, because to talk somebody into the building as a independent wrestler, or as a mainstream being AEW, TNA, WWE, what makes me want to come see you? Show me some highlights. Show me your character. Show me you're not just going to stand there in a black t-shirt. Show me you're not going to just do the traditional, oh, you, that kind of
Right,
crap,
right,
right?
right.
Show me some personality. Show me something that's going to get me in there. So I think, personally, social media.
I like that. I think phrasing it that way is, depending on where you are in your career, right, really matters. But I mean, I think for this generation, you're right. It's about creating that brand. It sounds so icky now, like, oh, you created a brand.
Mm.
But I mean, what else do we know about you, right, in this era of social media? Adrian, I'm going to come to you with the same question then. Maybe when you close out your answer, I want you to both think about who's that one wrestler, whether they're veteran or new or upcoming,
Mm-hmm.
who does utilize social media in that way, like Greg mentioned. But Adrian, I'm going to come to you. More important for the social media engagement or for that live crowd?
I think in today's market, being in the pro wrestling industry, I think a strong social media presence is key, because wrestling fans are super fickle. We always talk about that. The IWC, they have their darlings and they have their people that they hate. The one thing about social media is you can interact with everyone 24/7. And that's a dangerous thing. That's a dangerous thing, because you can connect with them to a point where you're getting your character over and they're loving you or hating you. But at the same point, they can love you or hate you based on a viewpoint or something that you say just randomly that someone doesn't take the right way. So it's a dangerous game. But I do think that being able to maneuver through social media as a pro wrestler is extremely important, especially when it comes to promoting yourself, promoting what events you're at, promoting whatever merch you have or shirts or anything like that. You can easily become the talk of the town with good social media maneuvers,
Yep.
and I mean, make no mistake about it, being able to connect with the crowd, whether in a babyface way or in a heel way, is definitely foundational. But I think in today's pro wrestling market, being able to do that through social media is even more important. I think, somewhat, you can argue that is somewhat more important.
Right.
But man, I'm trying to think of anyone that I'm really like super impressed with online. Um, I kind of want to say a couple people stand out to me, but Top Dollar is one
Mhm.
where I think he utilizes social media in a perfect way, in the sense of being able. I know even when he was with WWE, he used to drop his his rap promos or music videos that
Mhm.
were essentially promos in his own style through social media. And I know I used to say, man, why is the WWE taking a clip of that and putting that out
Mhm.
there? Sure enough, AEW starts to do that with Max Caster, because he was doing
Yep.
something very similar also, and they were doing
Mhm.
it the smart way. The only other person that I could really say, like social media wise, that's really maneuvering in the way that goes along with their characters, probably Logan Paul. Like, the dude is
Yeah. Let's
built
talk
off of
about that.
social media. He's kind of like a cheat code. But now that he's a professional wrestler, it's even more on 10. Like, he can easily jump on Twitch, or he can jump on Instagram Live and have such a vast amount of eyes on him that all he has to do is say, hey, I'm going to be on Monday Night Raw tomorrow, and I got something important to say. All those eyes, not all of them, but a majority or a good amount of those eyes are going to tune in to see what's going on. And that's the power of social media done the right way.
And between him and Speed, that's not the last streamer or YouTuber we're going to see on WWE TV. Better believe that.
Yep.
Greg, was there anybody that came to mind like that kind of stands out to you?
So 2 jumped out. I mean, AJ Francis, Top Dollar being one. But I'm using a little bit different angle as well. One day on my For You page, he's just sitting there playing video games, talking, and he's live, right? He's just doing his thing. He's just legit just talking about the game, but then he's talking wrestling too. So this is how you another way to leverage that social media is now I'm bringing in the gaming community, because if I'm doing this, I'm getting on a different For You page. I'm going to bring in that community. I'm going to talk about the game. I'm going to talk about my wrestling. So what am I doing? I'm promoting it. I'm showing my personality. And so all these other pieces that are coming into that, right? And then if I'm on that page, we all do it. As soon as we hit somebody who's on live, like, oh, this dude's pretty cool. What do? I check out the rest of their stuff.
Yep.
And then I'm like, oh, he's a wrestler. Oh, let me see this stuff. Oh, so there's a different way to do it, not just cutting promos and not just putting clips. And the other one is Matt Cardona. He's laid a blueprint out there for every freaking person.
He's a Hall of Famer for that.
Yeah.
I mean, you go back to, of course, Long Island Story, all the way to today. But the other part that he's shown a blueprint for, and I would take it to the next level, is he has a podcast. And podcasts, you can argue, are social media.
Definitely.
He's going to talk about his shows on a podcast. And if I was an independent wrestler trying to make it, I would have a podcast that followed me every single week, where I was talking about the show I was at, the show I'm going to, and I would talk to the wrestlers who were at these shows, especially if I was a Zach or Cardona, or if I was a AJ Francis or something. What if they just grabbed a couple of these dudes from these shows and critiqued the show? There's a fine line to dance, right? You don't want to blast it, but you can say, hey man, yeah, dude, I was in this car lot and I was like, I was wrestling in the car lot and people over here buying a used car and this and that. But man, it's a far cry from, winning the Intercontinental Championship in Texas Stadium. But these fans were into it. So this is how you balance it, right? So you kind of talk about what you were doing. But I was like, the engagement there is also showing people how you can put over a product that's not at this level, but you can make people feel like, dude, yeah, you may not be in front of 100,000 people. You may be in front of 100, but man, I want to go see this dude. Like, I want to go see it and talk about your fan interaction. So I think that's how there's a different way to leverage it with personality, with character work. And if they're really smart, in my opinion, try out different characters and get feedback.
Yeah.
You got a whole IWC out here who's fiending to give you feedback.
Oh, for sure.
Be like, hey, if I was like, Adam Rose back in the day, I want to try Adam Rose and now I want to try the Kruger character. Tell me what you think about this character. Tell me I'm going to cut some promos and I want to do these vignettes and do these different things. Tell me what you think. Do you think I can pull this off? I mean, by the time they make it, if you can get people engaged with that, and by the time they do hit a TNA and AEW, and WWE, people are behind you.
Yeah. We got to give the Young Bucks credit because, being the elite got over so many different gimmicks
that was its entity. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Those gimmicks were carried over into AEW,
100%.
To this day. And also, I know High Spots Network, they used to give those guys all of the wrestlers, all the boys,
Kevin
mics
Owens
or whatnot. Kevin Owens,
everybody had their little shows. Yeah,
Best Friends. That was probably my favorite because I just enjoyed those podcasts. Those were like my favorite. So it's definitely something I think that's kind of underutilized in a sense. But maybe for good reason, because not everybody needs to have a mic.
That's true.
Because
nowadays,
but and I have to give credit one other company. Everybody's gonna. I know y'all gonna blast me. I don't care. Blast me. Come at me in the comments. I don't care. WWE does a good job leveraging their social media promos. Like I listened to Chelsea Green talk about the one where she had the cream on her face. She's like, I've never had this much cream on her face. And she said they're like, oh no, we're using that. She's like, are you serious? And they post that on their social media. They're not going to put it on Raw.
Right.
They're not going to. And you think about what they did with Cody and Jay when they were drunk off their butts. and they popped that all on social media. So they started
Right.
leveraging certain things within their social media and giving the talent more leeway to say things and do things that engages a different audience. It's not going to be your Raw audience or your SmackDown audience. And I think that's another blueprint that these other companies, AEW does it at times.
Yeah.
So it's not just them, but a couple of things jumped out at me listening to Chelsea talk about that recently on another podcast. And she was like, I couldn't believe they let me get away with that. And they were like, oh no, we're using that. But they were like, but it's 100% going online. And then if you go look at it, it got a couple million views.
Definitely did.
That's what's insane. It's like the reach that it gets online right now. You're like, oh, this is just a little throwaway thing. I'm like, what? 2 million views? Like, how the hell did that get there? But this speaks again to the generation. You also don't know what's gonna hit, so they kind of just see what sticks on the wall. That's the beauty of having such a large corporation. But listeners, if you have anybody that we missed or anybody that stands out to you, leave their handle in the comments here. Let us know who would be looking out for here in the future. And there's a lot of independent wrestlers out there. I can name more than a handful right now, but again, it's awesome that they have that platform, because again, to talk them into the building really doesn't mean to talk them into individual shows. It's to talk them into where you're going to be, right? What's your presence going to be? That is the building. So, gentlemen, the reason I actually bring that up is because I want to take a look at this Dusty promo, this review for one wrestler that has a storied past to John Cena, to Samoa Joe, to Southern California here, and this is the TNA champion. This is Frankie Kazarian.
Welcome to the show of champions. Welcome to the King's Speech. That's good. I need your participation. I need my amigos to help me out, and I need you to tell all these tortas in the building to please keep the squealing to a minimum, because I got a lot to say. Now, at Final Resolution, not only did I defeat JDC, but I retired him. I sent him packing, and I retained the TNA World Championship. So what that means is I'm right where I belong, and that is on top, leading this company into the next era, leading TNA Wrestling into the era of AMC. You know what, while we're on that topic, if I beg your pardon for a second, I'm going to need to ask Walter White to step aside. I'm going to need Negan to take a hike, and I need Rick Grimes to hit the bricks, because starting next year, there's a new face of AMC, and his name is Frankie Kazarian.
Corporate synergy.
All right, I hear you. I know a lot of you are very angry that I'm the TNA World Champion. I've read your stupid social media posts. I've heard your lame attempt at insults. But know this, your anger is my happiness. Nothing makes me smile more than seeing a room full of salty, angry marks, so please keep it up. But understand this, you can be as angry as you want, but at the end of the day, each and every one of you would sell your own dirty mother to be in the position that I'm in. I am your king. I am the TNA World Champion, and I'm going to be for a very long time. So I suggest you all get used to it.
Oh, there is one man who's not going to get used to a world where Frankie Kazarian is holding his TNA World Championship. There was an outlier, Director of Authority, Santino Marella, after final resolution that Mike Santana's renewed path of purpose will come through a steel cage next week here on Impact as Santana leads Team TNA to complete his payback on Team NXT in the cage. But Santana hasn't forgotten what NXT and Kazarian cost him the TNA World title.
I don't think any of us could forget the chaos of that night. Certainly not the realist himself.
Bring your best and I bring the beast.
Hey, yo, cut that music.
Yo, I don't remember inviting you here, Santana.
Shut your damn mouth, culero. First and foremost, where are my people at in the 915?
Mira, yo te digo esto. Yo soy un boricua del Bronx, Nueva York, pero mi corazón siempre está aquí en El Paso, Texas. Now, Frankie, let me keep it a buck with you real quick. Eso mismo, coño! Shut up! How can I be mad at you? You really can't. You saw an opportunity, you took an opportunity, and you seized the opportunity. You did exactly what you said you were going to do. And I ain't got to like it, but I got to respect it, huh? Actually, who am I kidding? I'm a hot-blooded Latino. Of course, I'm pissed the hell off.
Yeah, check it out on his own. But you get the spirit of it. And
Yeah.
as we're thinking about it, Adrian, I'm gonna ask you for your opinion first, because you're obviously more well versed in TNA at this point. But also, what do you think about this interplay in utilizing the crowd, the good people of El Paso, Texas, to be almost that third character of this promo? Talk about it.
It's just what you said. You're adding the crowd is an element that should be utilized even more in professional wrestling. You're in El Paso, Texas. It's gonna be a heavy Latino base crowd in there, and as evident of them showering Kazarian with those Culero chants. Like you don't normally hear that. You hear it at a Lucha Libre show or that sort of thing. And that's a cool thing. And that should be taken advantage of in the sense of presentation. That shows like, man, we got a crowd in there that's hot. They're engaged. They don't like this guy. They love this guy. And that's perfect. That's perfect for any of these promotions. That's perfect for WWE, AEW, your local indie. Anytime that you can get a group of people all locked in on the same, we don't like you, we love you, that's gold. And both of those guys did a really good job of utilizing that. And the crowd showed up and showed out. And I enjoyed it. That kept me engaged. If it wasn't like that, the crowd wasn't like that, I would have probably been like, it's just a 101. Heel cuts a promo, babyface comes out and he talks his talk. But that crowd brought it to the next level. So kudos to them.
Yeah, for sure. Greg, do you have the same thoughts, or how do you experience the crowd as being kind of this extension of the promo?
I think that's a huge piece of these shows. Go back to ECW. What created the aura of ECW? I'll argue all day long. Yeah, they had great talent, but the crowd was ECW. And that's what made you want to go to a show. Yeah, they had great matches. Yeah, they had RVD and Sabu and craziness, right? But the crowds they're the ones who started the chants. They're the ones who when in Philadelphia, you chant, she's a crack whore or whatever. Then they come to Cobb County Civic Center and they're doing the same thing.
They're saying the same
So
thing, yeah.
yeah, so it's kind of like that crowd is a big piece. AEW, I always felt like that was the biggest piece, especially early on. AEW's crowds set the tone for an AEW show. It was different. It was different than WWE because it felt like a party, and the crowd set that tone. TNA, the more you can do that, because they're not huge crowds, they're getting bigger, right? But we've seen them at Center Stage and other places here in Atlanta. That's about what 600 to 800 people, something like that. Not huge crowds, and you got to get it. If you can get that crowd noise, you can get them involved. It creates something for that TV audience.
Yep.
So I think that was a good job that Santana did. I think Kazarian's piece of this was way too long, and he was repetitive in what he said.
Yeah.
He just stood there and said, "I'm great. I'm great. I'm great. I'm great. I'm your champion. I'm great. I'm great. I'm great. I'm great. I'm great. I'm great." I'm like, "Can Santana
AMC
please
name
come out?"
drops.
Right.
Yeah.
And the other piece about that, let's be honest, we ain't all watching AMC. We all gonna watch it now because of TNA.
Plus, half those shows are like off there for like 5 years.
Yeah, all that he said. Yeah,
Right.
everyone that he
so
said.
he's name dropping things, and it's like, you need. And this is where we always go back to that 101 stuff, right? Name drop the name with the TV show, put an identity with it. You gotta. I always feel like you have to bring somebody in. Like you can't just say some random person. Like, oh, he's a big star on AMC. Guess what? Wrestling fans ain't watching. I had never heard of Destination America in my life until Impact went on to him back in the day.
Yeah,
and I'm like, oh, I have that. Okay, cool. So little stuff like that, right? But I feel like Kazarian's piece was just like, oh, dude, I wanted to fast forward.
Yeah, no, it's just because Adrian brought up that idea of we were talking about the Young Bucks, and that's where I remember him cutting like somewhat of a promo, right? Was in those BTE segments like this is the worst town I've ever been in, and like he was fine in that little collective, but now you got the strap on, you got to deliver more than a 101 promo or a vanilla promo here, and that's yet to be seen. So. Anyway, that's going to dovetail us here to our Dusty rating here. I'm going to come back to you, Adrian. What do you rate this on a scale of 1 to 5 Dusties, knowing that you are a regular TNA viewer, but also we're rating it on the merits of this promo?
Okay, on the merits of this promo, and we got to, once again, acknowledge that the crowd plays a major part in how we view this whole presentation of that segment. I'm going to give it 3.5 Dusties, and it's mainly carried by Santana, especially interacting with the crowd. The crowd played a major part in it. I will give Kazarian some credit for the Tortas line. That was funny. That popped me. But it was very 101 for Kaz. But also it wasn't, I guess maybe it wasn't his time to shine. It was for Santana to come out, a man of the people, the rightful champion, the person who should be the champion of the promotion. And all of these people are fully behind him. And this is the reason why we should be paying to watch him kick Kazarian's tail, So on those merits, I will give it a 3.5. I almost want to say 4 just because of that crowd.
Yeah. Greg, thoughts on this and your Dusty promo? Dusty review.
Dusty review, 2.5. Not even. Yeah, we got the crowd in there, but Kazarian killed me, and it's just like he's never been a great talker.
No,
he like you said in snippets, but I think this is where we go back to you asked about social media and stuff like that, right? Understand what you are. If you can't carry a 10-minute promo or 5-minute promo, that's okay.
Yep.
Especially if you're by yourself, that's fine. Keep it short, keep it sweet. You don't have to. And I think that's where we're at with Kazarian, in my opinion. I think that interruption should have been much earlier on. It should have been more organic. It should have just been boom. Even the entrance. Like, I'm sitting there watching, and like the music plays and this and this. And I'm like, come on.
Right.
Let's talk.
Yeah.
Let's say something. Where's the spotlight? There's some production issues. I don't put all this on the talent. I don't put all of it on them. I don't put it all on Kazarian, right? He's not the one producing his own segment. I doubt.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they just had to shorten that stuff up. But for me, they were losing me. Santana brought me back, but I felt like his part was kind of forced a little bit. So yeah, for me, 2.5.
Yeah, I kind of went back and forth. I think I'm right smack in the middle again with the solid 3, and really it's the El Paso crowd that put it over, because if you think about it, here's Kazarian, he has this formulated promo, he has the lines to hit, but everything that is of substance that is entertaining, I'm just calling it what it is a reaction to the crowd, right? Adrian called it the tortas line, the culeros line, right? Even Santana saying like, I'm Boricua, but and then he kind of does that little parlay there. So you wonder, like, stripped of this, right? What does this sound like? Is it them just saying like, oh, I'm going to beat you up, and I don't like the way the direction the NXT took? Basically. So you're curious about that, right? And like you said, some production snafu. So I mean, solid 3, because I think like Kazarian, that's not his strong suit, but he's still a very, one of the backbone wrestlers that if you really give him something to, sink his teeth in, that's going to be a good feud, because he's just a very good pro wrestler. And then Santana, someone that we've hyped up for a while now, that he's there. He's on the cusp. He bet on himself, and it's paying dividends. So more to see in 2026 over here. So
he's gotten bigger too.
Oh yeah,
like you can noticeably see
massive.
His physique has gotten bigger since his AEW days.
Yeah, man. But good for him, man. Because it's like he was just floundering for that while there, man. Yeah. But listeners, let us know what your thoughts. What are your thoughts of TNA in 2026? Are you going to be watching the MC? Are you going to be looking out for Santana and Frankie Kazarian and the rest of the cast here? Let us know in the comments below and what you thought about this promo. But this is Talk 'em Into the Building. This is our Dusty review. Check out the back catalog, intothebuilding.com, for our full-length episodes, including shorts and everything in between, and more Dusty reviews. And we also got some Rushmore episodes where Greg takes lead on that, and we bring some topics of interest to rank. So it's a real fun shows that you should check out. So again, intothebuilding.com. But from the boys over here, Adrian and Greg, this is Alid. See y'all next time on Talk 'em in the Building.